Yalla,
Yeah, Sheikh. Now, Sheikh, I was going to ask you, said if you were to, with regards to sujood as-Sahw, the ones you explained, I understand it to be that is if you make a deduction in your salah. So what about if you go beyond the rak'ah you're supposed to pray? How do you make compensation for that? Because there's some narration that says that you make after the taslim, you make 2 sajda. Please, can you clarify that, Sheikh?
Sheikh, you're on mute again.
It's going to make me crazy, this Jabra. Allah musta'an, these machines. Basically, that the Prophet ﷺ's ahadith, some of them they say that he had made 2 sajda before salutation. And in other narrations, he made 2 sajda after salutation, and then he made another salutation. But the unauthentic one, which is that he made salutation, then he made 2 sajda, and then he made tashahhud again, and then salutation. That is not authentic, which is the Hanafi way, which is they make, okay, tashahhud again. No. So either you make 2 sajda before salutation, after you make tashahhud, 2 sajda, then salutation. Or tashahhud, salutation, then 2 sajda, then straight away salutation. Now, that's in general. So you could do it like this way or that way. But when we look, and this is amongst the difference, controversial amongst the scholars. If we look where the Prophet of Allah made the sujood as-Sahw before salutation and where he made it after salutation, then we could really arrive to a more precision to the sunnah. So you want to really hit the sunnah, this is the way. But the Shaykh al-Albani said if it's too much for you to learn, whether you make it before or after, as long as you made the sujood as-Sahw. And that is, when we have 2 things here, we always make the sujood, the 2 sajda of sahw, before salutation. Other than these 2 things, then it's after salutation. What are these 2 things? One, that is you forgot your middle tashahhud, your first tashahhud, and you stood up completely. If you did not stand up completely and you sat down, there's no sujood sahw, as we said. You stood up completely, then the hadith and the ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he said that he made sujood as-sahw before salutation. So that's the first case. Second thing, or the second case, is that if you prayed and then you forgot how many rak'ah, and you investigated, but you did not arrive. So you are now, actually you are in the 3rd. You are actually in the 3rd. But you're not sure, are you in the 4th? So it's 3 or 4, 3 or 4, 3 or 4. I'm not sure it's 4 or 3. Then you build upon the least, which you are sure of. That's 3. Even though you're correct, but you don't know. So you build upon the minimum, which you are sure of. Let's say that you are in the 4th, but you forgot. Is it the 3rd or the 4th? You are 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, or 3. I'm not sure. You go to the 3 because you're sure of the 3 again. In this case, because you forgot and you did not arrive to a conclusion, then your sujood as-sahw, the 2 sajda, is before salutation. Other than that, the 2 sajda will be after salutation, but remember to have another salutation after the 2 sajda. So, tashahhud, salutation, 2 sajda, and then salutation. Other than the 2 cases. I repeat the cases again. If you forgot the middle tashahhud, the first tashahhud, you stood up completely. Second one, if you forgot how many rakats you have made and you did not arrive to a conclusion, you build upon what you disregard the one which is you're in doubt of. You build upon the minimum number. So 3 or 4, 3 or 4. You say 3. Khalas. I'm not sure about. I prayed my 3rd, so I'm going to be. Khalas, this is the 3rd. And then you pay the 2 sajda before salutation. So if I ask a question now to you, Abu Ubaidillah, Brixton. This person, he had prayed his Asr. Okay? And when he prayed his Asr, in the first tashahhud, he made salutation. And then he sat down. Then he remembered, oh, I made only 2 rak'ah. Or somebody told him. Or maybe he had CCTV camera, he was looking, oh, I prayed 2 rak'ah actually. What he should do? Get up, Allahu Akbar, and make another 2 rak'ah. Fine. Where does he make sujood as-sahwi? Ya Abu Abdullah, before salutation or after?
Before salutation, Sheikh.
Why?
Before
Why before?
Is before salutation because the mistakes are within the 4 rakahs that is meant to make. He's just been told that he's done 2 rakah, so he stood up now to complete the next 2 rakah that is missing. So he's still within the 4, so he needs to make this sajda.
Abu Abdullah, which case is this? I've mentioned 2 cases.
You mentioned, yeah, this is sajda before salutation.
When I mentioned 2 cases, I mean, what is the case here? Case number 1, you forgot your middle tashahhud. Did he forget the middle tashahhud here? The first tashahhud? Did he forget when he had made salutation? Did he forget the middle tashahhud? No.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Second one, he was in doubt. Was he in doubt?
It wasn't in doubt. It wasn't.
No, he wasn't in doubt. He finished.
Yes.
He thought it was 2 rak'ah.
Yes, that's
He was
correct.
in doubt. So where is this to do sajda now? Before or after?
After, inshallah.
It has to be the 2 cases. Right. Let's ask one of those people who had put his hands up. Bilal Nahla.
So, Sheikh, there's a sister from Brixton that I was just going to ask. She one of the first ones to ask the question. It's a quick one anyway. Can the 2 sunnah prayer after Maghrib?
I'm going to ask a question myself.
Sorry?
I'm going with this question. I'm teaching the students. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Bilal Nakhla. I'm going to ask you I'm going to ask you the question.
No.
This is not for you to question me. I'm going to question you.
Okay.
This person is in his prayer. He forgot. Is he in the 3rd or the 4th? He was actually in the 3rd.
No.
Forgot. So he's saying to himself, 3 or 4, 3 or 4, 3 or 4. Let me tell you. I first rak'ah I prayed Qul Huwallahu Ahad. Second rak'ah I prayed with Qul A'udhu Rabbil Falaq. Yes, actually I have prayed my 3rd, so this is my 4th. And he was correct because he just arrived to the conclusion that he prayed his 3rd. Because I remember making the tashahhud, and I remember now 100%. I've got no doubt. Khalas. And he was actually correct. So he's supposed to be praying the 4th, but he thought maybe he's to pray the 3rd. So I arrived to the right conclusion, but he had a doubt.
No.
What is supposed to do? A, nothing. B, 2 sajda before salutation. C, 2 sajda after salutation. A or B or C?
A, nothing.
Okay. Mute yourself. Mute yourself. Anybody would like to answer this question? Fadal ya Abdullah. Yalla ya Abdullah. No. Abdullah. Fadal Abdullah.
Before the taslim?
Before the taslim. Anybody else? B.
B, Sheikh. B, Sheikh.
Who says B, put his hands up. Who says A, puts his arm up. Nothing.
I say A, Sheikh. Nothing.
Who says C?
Sheikh, C.
C, Sheikh.
Who says C?
This is Fazal, C.
C.
Fazal.
Fazal. And who else?
Abdullah 105, Sheikh.
Yeah, Abdullah 105 and Faisal are the correct ones. C. Ya Ikhwani, I said to you, Wallah, I made it easy, so much easy for you. So the only 2 cases where there is sujood as-sahw to sajda is before salutation. That is, if you forgot your middle tashahhud, you stood up completely. If you did not stood up completely, you sit down and there's no sajda. This is the only situation when you forget something and no sujood sahw. And that is when you forget and you are halfway, not fully up, and you sit down. No, because the Prophet of Allah said no sujood sahw. But in other cases he said, ala kulli sahwin sajdatan. And every time that you forget, there is 2 sajda. So in every time you forget, there is 2 sajda. Except in that place where if you forgot the middle tashahhud or the first tashahhud, and you do not completely standing up, sit down and no sujood sahw. So you have to make sujood sahw. So A is not right. But it is not from the second case. The second case is that you are in doubt, but you did not arrive to the conclusion. So you build upon what is the least. Here you forgot and you investigated and you arrived to the right conclusion. You are not in doubt anymore. So you pray the 2 sajda sahw after salutation, not before. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. By which we're going to stop here. All the questions that I apologize for the sisters will be inshallah dealt with in tomorrow's class.